Kenneth J. Sullivan was a STARS Bravo team's point man and chemist. He was one of the first STARS members that would not survive after reaching the Spencer mansion. It is uncertain whether he managed to eliminate any zombies or Cerberus as he made his way through the mansion. His body was just found next to the dining room, which was next to the lobby and entrance to the mansion. And all it took was a single zombie approaching him head-on. It's possible that he may have been injured before entering the mansion, or he was low on ammunition, as he was only carrying 1 to 2 clips of handgun ammo in the original RE1, but no clips of handgun ammo in the remake. Now, if we look back at the original Resident Evil 1, the zombie that killed Kenneth ended up chewing through his entire neck, completely decapitating him, which makes sense as to why he does not become a zombie after a while. But in the remake, his whole body is intact. He appears to only have one injury, and it's on his neck. So why is it that Kenneth does not come back as a zombie in the remake? Forrest Speyer does come back as a zombie, and even Edward Dewey turns into a zombie shortly after his death. So was this a simple mistake? Or is there something else here that we're missing? Let's take a look at his surveillance tape.
What? Get away from me! No! Hey! No!
I'm a little confused as to why we are able to pick up Kenneth's tape, showing us his final moments as the zombie attacks him. You don't see the footage until you reach the Umbrella Lab, so I'm confused about 2 things here. Why did we have to wait until we reached the Umbrella Lab, which is the last area of the game, to finally use Kenneth's tape and view it? And 2, why is it that we can only pick up Kenneth's tape, but the other STARS members don't give us that option? I thought at first that this was something we could do, and it would even explain why it takes us near the end of the game to analyze each tape. Because we meet Enrico near the end, and if we took his tape, then we could see a quick glimpse of the person who shot and killed him, which was Wesker. This would give us a great way to reveal that Wesker was the traitor instead of doing what the original did by revealing him in the slideshow on the projector. Not to mention seeing Forrest Speyer's final moments. But heck, I'd like to take this an extra step and see a couple extra clips for each STARS member such as Forrest, Kenneth, and Enrico, and see a couple moments when they were figuring stuff out for themselves. Then the third clip in their tapes can show their final moments. I wonder if this was initially what the developers had in mind, because why else would you have to reach the final location being the Umbrella Lab just to view a 15-second tape? Don't you think maybe this is because that's not the only tape you were meant to find? The reason why I'd like to see at least 3 clips for each member's videotape is so that the first one can show their expressions before they met their first threat, before they had any idea what was going on. Then the second clip can show how they're dealing with their unexpected hosts, and of course the final clip can be their final moments. I really think this would have worked. The best example I can think of is with Halo Combat Evolved. In that game, there's a level where you're about to encounter new enemies, and we can see that both the elite and human soldiers got demolished by something else. And to figure out what's going on, Master Chief picks up a surveillance tape from one of the dead soldiers. And for over a minute, you get this incredibly executed video footage of the soldiers before their final moments, and it works perfectly to build suspense for what lies ahead.
Why do we always have to listen to this old stuff, Sarge?
Watch your mouth, son. This stuff is your history. It should remind you grunts what we're fighting to protect.
Hey, if the Covenant want to wipe out this particular part of my history, that's fine by me.
LZ looks clear. I'm bringing us down.
Go, go, go! Stay close, Jenkins. Mendoza, move it up! Wait here for the captain and his squad, then get your ass inside.
Sir!
Okay, let's move!
Which is weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides.
What's that? Plasma scoring?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was an accident, you know, friendly fire or something?
What do we have, Sergeant? Looks like a Covenant patrol. Badass elite units. All KIA. Real pretty. Friend of yours?
Nah, we just met.
Right, well, let's get this door open.
I'll try, sir. But it looks like these Covenant worked pretty hard to lock it down.
Just do it, son.
Yes, sir. I got a bad feeling about this.
Boy, you always got a bad feeling about something.
Sarge, can you hear me?
What's going on, soldier?
We've got contact, lots of them, but they're not Covenant. They're just tearing through us. What the? Oh no!
Corporal, do you copy? Over.
This probably could make up for what I wanted to see from the Bravo team in Resident Evil 0, but it's at the very least something. Getting one short 15-second clip of Kenneth being eaten alive by a zombie is rather pointless, because it's not like we didn't see him in that very moment ourselves. In the original RE1, we're not exactly sure how long it's been since Kenneth was killed, but in the remake, we know that it just happened seconds ago. So again, the tape footage was a great concept, but the execution was quite pointless since we basically knew that that's what happened seconds before we reached the two of them. Now, here's something interesting that I'd like to add regarding Kenneth's body in the original RE1. When you start the game, there are multiple interactions that can occur before you encounter the first zombie, including Kenneth's body. The normal routine is to simply enter the door up ahead next to the dining room. That would lead you to the first zombie devouring Kenneth. Most versions of the game are censored, but the ones that aren't will include Kenneth's decapitated head in the cutscene. Since Kenneth is decapitated in the original, this makes sense as to why he doesn't turn into a zombie and go after you like with Forrest Speyer. You can take down the zombie to see Jill explain this to Barry, or you can exit the area without attacking the zombie, and once you're back in the dining room with Barry, he will deal with the zombie instead. But here's another thing. If you're playing as Jill, don't enter the room after Barry examines the blood on the floor in the dining room. Instead, head back into the lobby where you'll get an interaction with Wesker. Now that you're back in the dining room, try heading back into the lobby and Barry will tease Jill for not wanting to go look further ahead. Once you start walking towards the door leading to Kenneth's body, a cutscene will occur, and this happens. After this particular cutscene occurs, head over to examine Kenneth's body, and this time, not only is he decapitated, but his legs have been devoured as well. You'll no longer find the clip or clips of ammo, but it's still a bizarre change of his cadaver. This is what I love about the original RE1, which is actually absent in the remake of Resident Evil 1.
このゲームはステージの美しいビジュアルをはじめキャラクターの動きがスムーズで場面に応じたカメラアングル臨場感あふれる効果音など
The gore was slightly toned down for the remake, and even though you can get the same cutscenes to occur, the zombie's head does not get blown off when Barry takes it down, and Kenneth's body is fully intact.
That gunfire. I'm counting on you to investigate, Jill.
Sure thing, Wesker.
Got cold feet already? That's not like you.
Who is it?
You! Freeze! Get away from him, Jill! He's insane! What the hell?
We better report this to Wesker.
So even though you do give the zombie extra time to feed on Kenneth, it'll still look like Kenneth was taken down by a vampire since only his throat has been torn a bit. And what's worse is that if Kenneth isn't headless here, then why don't we see him coming back as a zombie? That's probably the biggest problem that came with toning down the violence for the remake, and the least they could have done was leave him headless so that it makes sense as to why he does not come back as a zombie, or make his body disappear and have Barry mention that he ran into zombified Kenneth and he had to deal with him. Either way, I'm just glad that the Resident Evil 1 remake had almost everything from the original and included even more content and story to it rather than what the next remakes would do. My second complaint being that the videotape we get from examining Kenneth should have had a similar execution as that Halo 1 example with the introduction of the Flood, and include a videotape for Enrico Marini and Forrest Speyer. That way, we actually got to see some of the interesting events with those underrated characters. Wouldn't you say? That's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to give this video a chance to grow. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for their impeccable generosity. Your support means a lot to me, and you are part of the reason why I try to make the best content that I can. And if you like this content, check out the rest of my channel. You'll find more entertainment from separate franchises I like to cover, such as Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z, Celebrity Deathmatch, Men in Black, The Mask, Batman comics, The Terminator, TMNT, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil, and more. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out my exclusive videos such as the Gantz content. And if you'd like to show your support, go to my Patreon and support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.